guys! I'm so excited for this video because it is going to be 15 things that I did not expect about living in New York City. I've lived in the city for about 2.5 years now. I've been in college, going here. Obviously, you know, like going here for college is a lot different than living here permanently, and so this is just kind of like my advice from a college student's perspective. I get so many messages about people asking me about going from a suburban area to living in a city and what it's like coming here for college and just advice. And so I wanted to do this video on very small things that I really did not expect that ended up being, you know, reality. I really tried to think of things that were very specific, not just things like, oh, it's really expensive. Like, I think we kind of all know that. Let me know down below if you're planning on living in New York City, if you've ever lived in New York City, what you like about it. Let me know your experience and your tips. I'd love to hear down below. Also, make sure to subscribe if you guys are new. My name is Michelle Reed. I post college and lifestyle content. Very small things are a lot more expensive. Obviously, everything's more expensive, but something that I didn't expect was just very small things like paper towels, things like cleaning supplies, things like medications, over-the-counter pills. Everything is so much more expensive. I feel like anytime I just stop in a Duane Reade or a CVS or even like a cheaper kind of grocery store, small things are probably about double the price. I'm from the Dallas, Texas area, if that gives you a little perspective, but things are a lot less expensive in Texas. The subway is actually really convenient and easy to get used to whenever it's working. Obviously, there are delays. Obviously, there is construction going on. Obviously, not everything works perfectly. For the most part, the subway is so much cheaper and so much more efficient than getting an Uber or a cab. I think it's so funny whenever I see people visit here and they're taking Ubers everywhere, and I'm like, the subway is so much cheaper, and if it's working, it's probably going to work so much more efficiently. And I was really worried about navigating the subways, getting used to like which ones to take, which ones go certain places, but it's actually really easy to get used to, and you get used to it within about like 2 months of moving here. You really can't carry a lot at once. I have learned this the hard way. I always think that I'll be able to carry like a backpack and a tote bag and be able to go places and go grocery shopping and hold everything. You really can't. It's amazing how much your back hurts and your arm hurts whenever you don't have a car. You can't just bring things around. You literally have to hold everything. I have learned so much that I just cannot hold a lot of stuff. Like, it is one tote bag and that's it. And that tote bag's gonna hold everything, or else it is just not coming with me. Umbrellas are really necessary. It rains at the most inconvenient times. It rains like twice a week usually. Even in the winter, whenever it snows, it's not like a cute flurry snow. It's like an ice pellets in your face snow. And so I have one of the umbrellas that is like an actual kind of globe almost, but it covers your face. I will have the one I use down below. A good umbrella is so important if you're gonna move here. It's really hard to make appointments. So doctor's appointments, if you're going to a specialist, it can take months to get an appointment here. I know pretty much everywhere you have to book in advance, but especially in New York City, a more urban place, you basically have to book your appointments so far in advance unless you're just going to like a minute clinic. I was looking for a specialist to go through kind of some insomnia things that I was going through, and I literally asked for an appointment I think in about like October, and guys, my appointment is not till March 13th, so it is real. That was not even one of the top rated specialists. That was just like your average specialist. It's actually really safe. I honestly feel more safe here than I do in suburban areas. Maybe that's just because there's so many people and there really are, you know, a lot of police. But I generally feel really safe. I also live in a pretty safe area. I know there are unsafe areas in New York City, and obviously like you do have to watch yourself. You have to make sure that no one's pickpocketing you or no one is harassing you, and you definitely have to be street smart. But for the most part, I have never really felt extremely unsafe in New York City. Minimalism is real. Whenever you're moving from apartment to apartment and you're living in tiny spaces, downsizing is so important. I have never gotten rid of so much stuff in my entire life, guys. That's why I use Poshmark so much. It's because honestly, I don't have space for stuff. And so if you're gonna move here, get rid of like 50% of the stuff that you have, because it probably is not gonna fit. I honestly have a pretty big apartment and I still got rid of a ton of stuff. It always takes longer than you think it will to get places. Whether because the subway isn't running or whether just because you overestimated how fast you could walk, I am always either like 10 minutes late to things, or I really have to prepare and make sure that I leave like 10 minutes early. People are really willing to help you. I feel like there's a stereotype that New Yorkers are like rude and they won't help you, but that is so not true. Generally, people are just busy, and generally they're just late to places, and that's why they appear, you know, super kind of standoffish. But if you actually need help, people will help you. I've asked for help with directions or just like if I drop something, stuff simple like that. People are always willing to kind of be a good neighbor. Rolly carts are for everyone. I'll never forget whenever I have my little rolly cart that I go grocery shopping with, and I remember someone commented on my video and they're like, oh, I thought only like elderly people use those. And I was like, sis, if you were here and you were grocery shopping, you would not have that opinion. They make life so much easier. You can get all of your week's worth of stuff in one trip. And fun fact, one time whenever I was holding my grocery bags coming back to my apartment, I actually dropped eggs everywhere in the street because it was so heavy. And so after that, I will never make fun of my rolly cart. Getting an apartment is 10 times harder than you think it will be. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm really lucky that the apartment we got was actually an apartment that we got through college kids who used to live here that we knew. But for the most part, if you're getting an apartment here, you literally have to go to the showing with your papers, and there will probably be 5 other people there who also have their papers. The demand is just super high for apartments here, and it is crazy. Also, to assign a lease here, you usually have to make about 4 times the monthly rent each month, or 40 times the monthly rent for an entire year. So you have to have mad stacks to live here, or you have to have like parents that can guarantee that money. So yeah, it's hard. It's definitely really hard. I'm gonna have to do it again in August, and I really am dreading it. If someone stops you and says that you dropped something, you probably didn't drop something. This is really specific, but I have had probably about 10 encounters where people will say, miss, you dropped something. And I'll kind of like look down and I have everything, but it's only because they're trying to do something to you. So don't respond, whether that be asking you for money, whether that be trying to mess with you. Don't turn around. You actually have to shop in a line at the grocery store. My Trader Joe's is the busiest place I have ever been. The line will wrap around the entire store, sometimes twice. And if you want to actually grocery shop, sometimes you have to get in line to grocery shop. Like, it is insane. It is super busy. In the winter months, you really do live in a parka. My parka coat is kind of my saving grace in the winter months. I wear that thing for about 6 months of the year. Coming from Texas, I am just so not used to such cold weather, and so I didn't realize how much you wear a coat and you really do live in it for a very long time. But to counter that, the springtime is like no other here. Those few months of spring that you get are so fun. I've never had so many fun memories of walking in parks and going on dates and just really enjoying life. It really makes winter worth it. Those are 15 things that I learned. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this about New York City, maybe about moving to New York City, maybe about how to move, like a guide to living in New York City. I would definitely love to know your requests. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.